Good morning everybody and welcome to my channel. My name's Elaine and I'm Ellie Welly Stitcher, both here on YouTube and also over on Instagram, where I've been trying to make a concerted effort to be a bit more active on Insta and post a few more pictures, which I have done. And I actually got to 500 followers on Instagram, which is pretty good for me. I know most people have got tons more than that, but I really don't use Instagram that often. So that was good. Okay, so let's start off with where have I been? So it's been 3 weeks since my last video and I didn't intend it to be this long. I was going to film last weekend. I was going to film on Bank Holiday Monday, so it was the May Day weekend here in the UK last weekend, and I thought I'll film on Monday. And then I had a really nice weekend on the Saturday, the Sunday, etc. And then come the Monday, I didn't feel very well, and so I didn't film. And excuse me if I still sound a bit stuffy, but I am just getting over not being very well at all. So so by sort of late Monday afternoon I felt really under the weather. Took to my bed on Tuesday and pretty much apart from the odd trip to the bathroom and a shower to see if that made me feel better, I stayed in bed for at least, I was in bed all day Tuesday, most of Wednesday, and on and off still on Thursday as well, and only really started to feel more like myself yesterday. It wasn't COVID. I thought it was to start with, but I did a test on Monday because I was intending to go to work on Tuesday, and it was negative, but then Tuesday I just wasn't well enough to go to work. But I did another test, still negative, so I can only put it down to basically an absolute stinker of a cold is what I had. You know, I had the whole cold thing going on, the streaming nose and a throat that felt like it was full of razor blades, and a pounding headache, and my temperature was really up and down. So yeah, I think I just had a cold, and it was a bad one. Or maybe I've just forgotten that colds can be bad, because I haven't had one for, must be at least 3 years now since I last got a cold. Anyway, the after effects of it are that I've still got a bit of a cough with it as well. Not massively, but I do keep having the odd coughing fit. So I bought some water upstairs with me. I don't normally take a drink when I'm filming, but I've had to this time. And if I do end up having to pause the video, it's because I don't want you to have to put up with me coughing my way through it. Anyway, the result of me being away for 3 weeks is I have got quite a lot to go through with you today. So I've got a whole page of notes, guys. I never normally have that many notes, but today I have. So I'm going to do my WIP update and where I ended up with WIP Go at the end of April. And then I've got my May WIP Go plans, because obviously they got called at the end of April. And what I'm doing with those. I told you on my last video that I was going to do some fabric dyeing. And I've done that, so I'm going to show you my fabric dyeing efforts, see what you think of those. I have got quite a lot of haul, so I think my last video I hardly had any haul, and then I went on a bit of a spree, shall we say. I don't know why, but I went on a bit of a chart spree. I didn't buy any fabric. I just got my regular Coffee Craft Fabrics fabric of the month, and I'll show you that. But I just had a thing for buying charts, and so I have got a lot of charts that I bought, so I'll show you those. I did get a couple of questions in my last video, so thank you very much for giving me a couple of questions to ponder over. So I'm going to answer those for you today. I've got the results of the giveaways that I did. So it was my 1 year anniversary on my last video, and so I did the random comment picker thing this morning. So I've got the results of that. I don't have a giveaway this time. I think, you know, we'll do one next time. I've got something in mind for that. And then this last week where I haven't felt well, I had a few days where I did still stitch every day, so I'm quite proud of that. Even on Tuesday, which Tuesday and Wednesday were my worst days of feeling ill, I still managed a few stitches. Not a lot, but I did stitch a little tiny bit. But I have read quite a lot because I've been in bed and not wanting to do anything much really. When I have been awake, and believe me, I've spent a lot of time asleep, but when I have been awake, I have read copious amounts. So I finished 2 books. So I will just give a brief roundup at the end about those. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just glad to be back. It seems like I've been missing for ages, and I've missed you guys a lot. So I've been quite excited this morning actually to film this video and come back and talk to you. So I apologise if the lighting's not brilliant today. It is for once. Normally when I film Flosstube it's bright sunshine, but today it's quite overcast. And I took the dogs out this morning, and I take my dogs out quite early. We normally go out about 6:30 in the morning. And took the dogs out this morning, and I walked out the front door, and it was quite muggy. As you can see, I'm wearing a t-shirt today, not a jumper, so it's quite warm. And in actual fact, yesterday was a fantastic day. It was really sunny, and it was my first day of feeling a bit better, and I spent a lot of it in the garden yesterday. So yes, I took the dogs out this morning. It was spitting a little bit with rain, but you know that like fine misty rain that you get. So I hadn't got a coat on. I'd just got a hoodie on, and it was just sort of spitting a little bit when I went out. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to go and put a coat on. So we got halfway, or we probably got nearly 2 miles away from home. So you know, I was a fair distance away over the fields. Then it suddenly got that really, really misty rain that it doesn't feel too bad, but actually it makes you wet really quick. So by the time we got back, I was soaked, and so were the dogs. And now I've done my best to towel them off, and I've my house just smells of wet dog at the minute. So I've got windows open everywhere, and yeah, well, one of them's gone to sit in the garden because actually the sun is just starting to come out. Anyway, I digress. Apologies. So I think potentially, I'm warning you in advance. I know my videos are always long, but it could be quite a long one this time. A, because I just want to chat to you. B, I've got quite a lot to show you. I have got something I really want your opinion on, because I've got a bit of a dilemma that I don't know quite what to do with, and I've got a finish to show you. I know. I really, really wanted to have an FFO to show you, and it was my intention to FFO my finish this week, but I felt so rough that I just haven't done it yet. But it will be FFO next time you see it. And for those that do follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my finish on there. Right, let's start with my book of days. Oh, anyway, the point of me telling you about walking my dogs this morning and get caught in the rain, see, get me digressing again, is I'm now having a bad hair day. So my hair got soaking wet, and it went all frizzy because my hair has got a natural curl to it, although it's not a nice curl, I will say. It's like a frizzy, messy curl. So I've just stuck it up today rather than leaving it down. So You don't normally see me with my hair up, and normally if my hair is up, it's because I've just walked the dog, so I'm having a bad hair day. So today's the bad hair day. Okay, so let me show you my book of days, which is sitting here on my lap. So this is where we finished for April. So it's all stickered up now, all finished. So that's my April done. So I didn't have a single day in April where I didn't stitch. So wow, how good is that? And the last time I filmed Flosstube was the 15th of April. Well, that seems like forever ago. Well, it was Easter weekend actually. So, and you know, Easter seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it? So here we are so far with May. Here's my little stickering up of May. And again, you can see I've stitched every day, but some of it's been a bit, you know, not very much stitching, to be fair. But I have started stickering up my book again. Okay, so let's do my finish first of all. Put my book of days away at the moment. So when I spoke to you last, the WIP Go goals that I had for April, one of them was to complete 5 days stitching on one of my BAPs, my big projects. And at the time I did say to you I couldn't make my mind up whether I wanted to really focus on my long dog sampler, Spirit of Flamfair PG, or whether I wanted to focus on Cricket Collection Summer, because I'd done quite a lot with that one. So I did give both of them quite a bit of attention actually, but the one that kind of won the day for me and completed my WIP Go for April goal on that particular goal is Summer by the Cricket Collection. So I'm going to put a picture in of where you saw Summer last time. And like I said, I haven't FFO'd this yet, but it is finished. And it's big. Look at that. I am so pleased with this piece. So pleased. Like I said, I really, oh no, it's too big, I can't. I'll have to peep at you over the top. So I am so pleased with this. So this is Summer by the Cricket Collection, and I started this on the 11th of May last year. It was one of my May Mania starts, because last year I didn't do Mania as in stitch a new chart every day in May. I did a new start every weekend, and this was one of them, which, like I say, I started on the 11th of May last year and I finished it on the 29th of April this year. So may seem like a long time, but it went away for quite a long time. I didn't stitch on it at all for quite a few months actually. But yeah, I really kind of went for it with this one in the end to get it finished. So there we go. So this is stitched on 28 count linen in the colourway Rain Stops Play, which is an opalescent, but you can't really see that. The colour is just lovely on this. And I stitched this using all the called for DMC. And if you watch Catherine at Cat V Stitches, she's stitching this one at the minute. Hers is her last one of the seasons to stitch, and this is the first one that I've done. And she was saying about how many DMC threads there are in this project, and there are a lot. There are a lot, and I'm not entirely sure they're all necessary, to be honest, because some of them require literally just a few stitches in that particular colour. But anyway, I stuck with the called for and I finished it, and I have got everything that I need to fully finish this. So I am going to put this on some foam core, and I've got some fabric for a backing board on it, and the fabric that I'm going to use is a blue, which you may think, oh well, that's going to look a bit odd, Elaine, because you've already got blue obviously on the linen, but it's a darker blue and it's got clouds all over it, so I thought it might make it look a bit sort of summer cloudy. Anyway, you have to tell me once I've fully finished it, you'll see it. So I really hope this is going to be my screen print, but I don't think, screenshot rather, but I don't think it is. But yeah, there you go, that's summer finito. So really pleased with that. Okay, so we had a finish, and that's my biggest finish that I've had to date. So, but yeah, we'll be hanging on my wall in time for summer this year. So I'm so pleased about that. Okay, I was going to do this a bit later on plans, but I'm going to do it now, I think, because it kind of fits with the theme of that piece. So the next one that I'm going to start of the Cricket collection, and I'm not going to start it yet because at the minute I've just got too many new starts going on. So the next one I've decided that I'm going to do is going to be autumn. So I've got all of the charts, and I was talking to a couple of people at the retreat that have finished all of these. So a lady called Diane brought all her 4 finishes to the retreat, and Teresa from Teresa Little Stitcher, she stitched autumn and spring. And both of those ladies told me that this was their favourite to stitch. So, and I like me a bit of Halloween and that kind of thing. So I thought, well, they've said it's their favourite, so I think I'm going to treat myself and do this one next. So I'm not sure when I'm going to start it. It will be soonish, but I have a bit of a dilemma and I really want your help with it. So I cannot decide which fabric to use. I've got the choice of 2. So if you could give me your thoughts, I would really appreciate it. So I'm going to show you both bits of fabric and tell you what they're called. And then if you could put me a comment around which you think would look better, that would be really great. So both of the pieces of fabric I've got are by Chromatic Alchemy, and both of them are 28 count linen, the same as the one I've just stitched. So just take a little look at the picture again. So as you can see, the background fabric used on this one is, I don't know what it's called actually. Oh, it's called Old Mill Java, which I don't know. Anyway, it's a very sort of tanny colour, and I'm not going to use that colour. So the choice I've got are these 2. So this one is called Midas. Now with this one, unfortunately, the camera's not doing this great justice in that you probably can't see. It's yellowy and fawny, but it has got some little bits of what look like a sort of pinky colour. I don't know, can you see better maybe on that side? So it's kind of the colours of a russety sort of apple, I suppose. So that's that one. So that's called Midas. And the other one is called, excuse me, but I've got these down by my feet. The other one is called Demeter. So I think you say it like that. It's D-E-M-E-T-E-R, Demeter. Demeter. And it's this one, which you can see is much more goldy yellowy. Again, 28 count linen. Both of these are opalescent. I know you can't necessarily see that. So this one's got like a green fleck in it. So yeah, it's yellow, really goldy colours. Let me try and put them up again side by side so you can see them together. So you can see this one's much paler than that one. What do you think? Midas or Demeter? Which one shall I use? So your thoughts will be much appreciated, guys and gals, with that one. Okay, right, let's go back to my WIPs. So with regard, we'll start with my full coverage WIPs. So I've only worked on 3, and one of those is a real measly, few stitches. So the first one I worked on since I last saw you is a Haid Heaven and Earth design. So this is Magic Forest, and the artwork is by Ciro Marchetti, and I'll put a picture in of what it looks like when it's finished and where you saw it last time. And I've done 900 stitches on this one, and here it is now. So I've done a lot of the background again on this one, so I've been coming along and just carrying on with a lot of these green leaves, and I couldn't make my mind up whether to come down this way or go across that way, but I think, I don't know, I just dot about a bit all over the place really. So this one's stitched on a 28 count easy guide, and this is 2/110 stitch I'm stitching it in. So that's where we are with Magic Forest, and I do love this one. And one of the ladies on Darren Dizzy Stitcher's Facebook group, Sue, she does watch my videos as well. Hi Sue. So Sue's stitching this, and hers is looking brilliant. So she's gone all the way across the top here now, and yeah, she's done great guns on it. She's made a lot more progress than I have, and it's brilliant to see. It inspires me to bring mine out. So thanks for showing your pictures, Sue, on Facebook. I really enjoy seeing them. So yeah, if you're not on Darren's Facebook group, it is well worth joining, because people have such amazing projects on there that they show. So yeah, that's where we are with Magic Forest. So that one had 900 stitches on it. Okay, the next full coverage project that I worked on, sorry, it's attaching a needle off of the other one. So this one is from Pain Free Crafts, and the artwork's by Chris Dunn, and it's cheese delivery. I'll put a picture in again of where you saw it last time, and also what it looks like when it's finished. And I put 1500 stitches into this one, and here it is now, and I hope you can really see a difference, because actually for the amount of time that I spent on this one, 1500 stitches is not a lot, but I've spent all of that time over here doing these cheeses, filling in some ninja stitches on the mouse, and just bringing, yeah, just generally filling this bit in. Hopefully you can see that difference. But yeah, I was so well into getting these cheeses done that I just wanted to concentrate on this one. So I did. So yeah, 1500 stitches, not a lot, but it was all confetti over here, or almost all confetti. So yeah, and I thought, you know, last time I said to you I'm a bit loath to stitch on this side because it's a bit near the Q-snap. I thought I'm just going to come down a bit more over this side, and then I will shunt it along in the Q-snap a bit and, you know, concentrate a bit more on over there. But I have seen on Pain Free Crafts Facebook group, there's a lady called Rosa. She's doing great guns on cheese delivery. Obviously, Lauren at Flossabilities has nearly finished hers. If not, maybe she has finished it by now, because she's been on the missing list as Lauren for a couple of months. Yeah, there's another lady, Rosa, who I know has watched me as well. Hi, Rosa. She's coming down this way. And it kind of inspired me to get back and get those cheeses sorted out. So this one again is stitched on 28 count easy guide, and it's 2/110 stitch. So I did have a couple of questions for a change from a couple of my viewers. So I'm going to answer them now while I've got cheese delivery out. So one of them, one of the ladies asked me, do I stitch in blocks and finish threads, or basically how do I stitch full coverage? So I've used various methods in the past. I have used diagonal stitching. I've done the parking method in blocks, and both of those methods are fine, but they just weren't for me really. I've not tried Stitching Mummy's typewriter method. I might give that a go, but I'm a bit of a cross-country stitcher. I don't stray too far. I don't drag my threads too far away, if I'm really honest. Although with these confetti ones I did a little bit, to be fair. So I tend to, you know, pick a strand and run with it until it runs out, basically. Unless I really think it's gone too far, and then I will park it to pick up again once I've got a few more stitches around it to run it through. So the reason why I've got some threads that are parked on this piece is because at the moment there's nothing around them. It may be that there's just 1 or 2 stitches around here, and then I've got nothing to run the thread under. So that's why I've got those odd few threads that hang in there. So I hope that answers your question. So, you know, there's no wrong way to any method, and lots of people prefer different methods. But cross-country works for me. I don't do extreme cross-country. I had thought of doing a bit of colour completing. I can see the excitement of doing that, you know, particularly if you take one massive colour. If you've got something that's, for example, I've got, I think it's Alice, my Alice project, that's got 31,000 stitches in 310 black. And it would be brilliant, wouldn't it, to get all those done and think, yes, that's 31,000 stitches of black I haven't got to do again. So I get the appeal of that, but I don't know whether I could be bothered with the faff of keep moving it around in the Q-snap to, you know, finish all the colour off. I don't know. So cross country works for me. That's what I do. So the final full coverage project that I worked on, and I worked on this one on Tuesday evening for 1 hour, literally 1 hour. So the project that I picked up was so many books, so little time. Again, this is a Haid. It's a mini, the mini version. The artwork's by Randall Spangler. Again, I'll put a picture in of where you saw it last time, and also what it looks like when it's finished. And here I am with it now. And I wasn't going to show you this one because I've only done 180 stitches in it. But I thought, oh, it's useful for my sort of stitching, my own reference basically, to see where I've got to. So all I did was a bit of this brickwork over here. This is stitched on 25 count easy guide, and this is 1/1 full cross. So that's where I am with this one. I literally picked it up for an hour and thought, I just can't face anymore. And, you know, sort of the mind was willing, but the body was like, go back to bed. And so I had to put it away. So another question that I got from one of my viewers was, when do I decide to do full cross and when do I decide to do dent stitch? Some of that, the answer to that, if I'm really honest, some of it's a bit on a whim as to how I feel at the time, and some of it is a bit around the coverage on the piece. So if the piece has got a lot of confetti, like Feast for example, which is loads of confetti, I prefer full cross, because I find with tent stitch, particularly as I stitch on 28 count, it can get really thick on the back. If you've got a lot of confetti, the back of your work can look like a rug, and then it becomes a bit of a challenge to, you've got to use a pretty sharp needle basically to stitch with, really, to pierce all through the threads on the back. So Feast, for example, I'm really glad I did that one, 1/1 full cross, because it is thinner across the back. If I want a piece to go quite fast, so Magic Forest is huge, for example, I'm stitching that in 10 stitch, because otherwise, you know, I'll be pushing up daisies before it's ever finished. So that's why I'm stitching that one in 10 stitch. Alice, for the same reason. Alice is really big as well. I think, so I'm doing a stitch along that starts on the 1st of June with Darren. We're stitching Stanley Morrison's Dragon, Blackberry Dragon. And quite a few people are picking up their Stanley Morrison Dragons and joining us. So welcome on board with that stitch along, guys. I'm so excited to see people's progress with all their dragons. But with Blackberry Dragon, there's a lot of dark colours in that. And the coverage, I am going to stitch it in 28 count because that's my go-to. Because the colours are so dark, I think I'm probably going to go... I might go 10 stitch actually on that one. I might go 10 stitch because it doesn't look I'm probably going to eat my words, but it doesn't look massively confetti heavy. So yeah, famous last words, eh? Okay, so yeah, so it's a bit on a whim. It's a bit around how much confetti there is in the project, and it's a bit about how big the project is as well. You know, the bigger it is, the more likely it's going to be stitched in 10. So the jury's a bit out with my Stanley Morrison's Dragon because it's not a massive full coverage piece. I think it's about 120,000, which is about average for a Pain-Free Crafts. You know, as opposed to the Hades that I've got, which are like 400,000, 360,000. So compared to those, it's really small. Okay. So I hope I've answered people's questions. Okay, so that's all the full coverage that I've worked on, guys. So basically this last week, apart from that 1 hour I spent on so many books, I didn't want to stitch full coverage. I didn't know how long I'd feel like stitching for before I needed to go back to bed. So I just picked smaller things to do, basically. Well, I say that, I didn't totally. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so the other, one of my big projects that I was stitching on for WIP Go for April was Spirit of Lamfair, my long dog sampler. And I'll put a picture in of what it looks like when it's finished and where you saw it last time. And I did get stuck into this. I didn't do 5 days on this one, that went to summer, but I did put a fair bit of stitching into this. So here's where it is now. So this spoon over here, I finished this big old spoon. I brought the border down here, realised that I was a stitch out on this border. And I thought I positioned this spoon 1 stitch the wrong way. And I thought, I'm not taking out that spoon, there's no way. So I've adjusted the border instead. So, yeah, there was a little spoon that went up here that I put in. I think I put in this one. I've still got a back stitch on this, but yeah. So I'm well over 40% complete on this now. So this one is stitched on 28 count even weave, and it is in the colourway Knox from Chromatic Alchemy, and I'm stitching this one using dinky dyes mainly. So we have Quicksilver, Ghost Scum, Robin's Egg, and then the variegated silk is from Exeter Designs and it's called Peacock Fuchsia. And then I have finished some of the spoons, some of the back stitching in a bit of bling, which is a bit of Petite Treasure braid. So yeah, I really got into the swing with this one. Was really enjoying it. That spoon's huge. Every time I stitch a spoon, it's like, oh, my God, it's huge. So yeah, not doing too bad. We really are chugging along quite well with this one now, I think. And I'll show you more in haul, but I made a trip just before I felt poorly. I went to the Range, which if you're in the UK, you know what that shop is. If you're in anywhere else in the world, it's they sell a bit of all sorts of stuff, really. I really love it. It's a great shop. It's got all sorts of bits and pieces, everything from plants and garden furniture and all that kind of stuff. In the winter, they do a great range of Christmas decorations. And yeah, they've got like an arts and crafts bit and all sorts, but they sell a lot of frames and they're very reasonably priced. And while I was wandering around there, if I'd have bothered to take the measurements with me, I would have got a frame for this, because I did see one that I really liked. I thought, oh, that would be perfect for this particular chart. So yeah, next time I go there, I'll have to remember to take that with me. Okay, the measurements, that is. So that's my Spirit of Clamfair. Okay, so then what else did I work on? So since I last saw you, I went on a Zoom meeting. Darren did one of his Zooms, which was really a good laugh, really good laugh. And we were on there for like 3 hours. 3 hours. Oh dear, oh dear. So so while I was on there, I did a bit of my Mill Hill kit. So this is Honeybee. Sorry if it's a little bit glary. From Buttons and Beads by Mill Hill. And I made a bit of progress on this one. I might go back and start putting a few beads in it actually. So I'll just use that as a bit of a backing. So yeah, I started coming down this bit. I pretty much finished the wing apart from the beads. Obviously I've got the other wing to do. I'm still on the old the bee's body, etc. as well. And all these gaps here are black beads. So yeah, I really got in the groove with that one. So I think I made a bit of progress on that. Hopefully I put a picture in of where you saw it last time. Forgot to say that, didn't I? And then I did a bit of work on my Shelter from the Storm by Scattered Seed Samplers. So hopefully I'll put a picture in of where you saw it last time. This is what it looks like when it's finished. Sorry if that's a little glary. It's such a cute chart, this, such a cute chart. And I did do quite a lot on this, I think, this time. So here's where it is now. So I've got one of the bunnies completely finished. The little bunny in the middle's done. I'm just working on the other bunny. I've completely finished the big toadstool now. And I've started doing like this, the grass bit underneath the bunnies. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this is doing. So this is stitched on 36 count brown paper by XG Designs. And I'm stitching this one using all the called for floss, which are a mix of what are they? Classic Colourworks, Week Star Works and Gentle Arts. So yeah, hopefully, touch wood, if I put a bit of effort in, we might have a finish on this one soon. And I have got a frame for this one too. So that's where we are with that one. And then the last two that I worked on are new starts. So so the first one that I started, and I started this one just, when did I start it? On Easter Monday I started this. So this is my latest little stitch along with Ali Stitcher. So Ali and I nearly always have a little stitch along going together, and this is our latest one. So we decided to do one of Colour d'Etoile's charts. I'll put a picture in of what it looks like when it's finished. And obviously there isn't a picture where you saw it last time because this is a new start. So Colour d'Etoile is a French designer, Bridget her name is. She has a shop on Etsy, and she's got such pretty little charts, really pretty. And the charts come in English as well as in French. And this one is called, I apologise for my poor French pronunciation, it's called Appareil des Moutons. So here's where I'm at with it. Now, I've done a few changes to this. So first of all, I'm stitching this on 36 count, was probably closer to about 38 count. And this, guys, is a piece of linen I dyed myself. I'm so proud of that. And I think it's a lot like Legacy by Picture This Plus. I'm so pleased with how it turned out, really pleased. So I'm not stitching all the called for. So most of it's DMC, well, all of it's DMC actually. One of them's a variegated DMC, which is part of the lady's dress. It's the first time I've used a variegated DMC, and it's okay. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favourite, but it's okay. And then I made a decision which I deeply regretted halfway through, but you know, I'm committed to doing it now. So I decided, because on this, so I don't know if you can see it, but up on this staff here, there's like a white ribbon. I've only just started stitching a little bit of the ribbon that goes around the staff. Well, when I stitched it, and the white on this is for the called for, which is B5200s, which, you know, I'm not a lover of white stitching, and I just thought, and I am using that in the apron that she's wearing, and it does show up there, but it didn't show up on up here on this staff, because I am stitching this 1/2 as it's 36, 38 count. And I thought, oh, sugar, what if it doesn't show up when I stitch the sheep? Because obviously they're predominantly white. They've got bits of pattern in them, but they're white. So I thought, I know, I had this great brainwave, and I thought, I know, I'll use whisper thread instead. Well, what a silly idea was that? So, this sheep, he's not quite finished yet. He's got some another colour that needs to go in here, but you know, the white bit of him is finished. So he is stitched in whisper thread, and it took me a little while to get used to it, to be fair. First of all, I was using it in too long a length, because after a while the fluffy bits start to kind of fray, and so you end up you know, with no fluff left in it, basically. So then I was cutting it in shorter, much shorter lengths, so that it wasn't so bad. Then you get clumpy bits that you have to look out for. Anyway, he isn't the most even woolly sheep, but you know, I do like the effect of the wool on him, and he's not that even, but it doesn't matter because he's a sheep, you know. So sheep don't have perfectly even coats all the way round, do they? So you know, I've got a little bit better now with the whisper thread, and I, having got stuck into it and realised what a nightmare it was to stitch with, I then went and watched the little tutorial that Stitching Mummy did around stitching with whisper thread, which was super helpful. So I don't think you watched me, Sarah, but if you do, thank you very much for making that little tutorial, because it helped enormously. So I am going to persevere with stitching the other 3 sheep in whisper thread as well. And, you know, they're not going to look all even. I know they're not, but it doesn't matter really, does it? So, because they're sheep. So yeah, that's my little stitch along with Ali. And I stitched on this on Wednesday this week. I just wanted a little small project to stitch on that wasn't too challenging, really. I couldn't face picking up anything that required any semblance of thought or anything that was too big. So this was the ideal thing until I started in on that whisper thread. I thought, what have I done here? So that's where I am with that one. And then my final start that I've had is the stitch along that I'm doing with some of the ladies that came to the Essex Needles retreat. So I am stitching GGR's The Morris Dancer, and like I say, this is a stitch along. The stitch along is called is it GGR Morris Dancer 2022 sale. This is what it looks like for real, because this is like a picture of the actual sampler, which, you know, it doesn't do it justice until you start stitching it, because it's not the greatest picture in the world, actually. So I'm stitching this along with Crafting Kirsty, Janet Dodd and Penelope Pins, they're both on Instagram. Kirsty's, a lot of you will know, has got her own Flosstube. So we started this on Bank Holiday Monday on the 2nd of May. And it was appropriate to start it then as well, because, you know, Morris dancers are something in the UK that are there to celebrate May and May Day. So it was right to start it then. So and that was, I started it just before I started to feel really ill in the afternoon and had to put it away. But I have worked on it since because I'm obsessed with it, basically. So I was a bit daunted by it, but now I'm hooked on it. Here I am with it so far. So I started this big border around here, and then we've got this border here. There's the word revenge goes in here, which I haven't done yet because I was so impatient. I had to go and stitch this big sun, which is stitched in a mixture of cross stitch and straight stitches, basically. And I loved stitching it, loved it. I even like stitching this border. It's quite a simple border to stitch. I'm stitching this one on 36 count linen, which is probably again closer to a 38 count, which I dyed myself. So, and I'm really pleased with the colour of it actually. I've got my Essex Needles Retreat needle minder on this too, because I'm stitching it with those ladies. It's a massive piece of fabric, this one. And to start with, I was going to go and stitch all the border first, and then, you know, start on all the nice bits inside. And then I thought, no, I'm going to take a big chance, I know, and I'm going to stitch it page by page. So I've got the words in revenge to put in up here. There's a couple of letters in satin stitch that I've got to put down here, and a bird. And then I will have finished the first page. But I've been obsessed with this. When I have felt like stitching the last couple of days where I've started to feel better, I've solely stitched on this. Everything else has gone out the window completely. So that's where I am. I have a son, Kirsty. I don't know how you're doing with yours, or Pen and Janet, but that's where I'm at with mine so far. And I'm stitching this one. The called for are over-dyed fancy flosses, but I decided to do mine in DMC. It looks absolutely fine. So really pleased with it. And I just want to thank one of my viewers who suggested to me, because I'd never seen that stitched up. And like I say, that photograph of the actual sampler doesn't really do it justice. But one of my viewers told me about a Russian lady that lives in France who's got a Flosstube channel. And she did a whole video showing her completed Morris Dancer sampler. So I found it, I went and watched it, I told Kirsty about it. I couldn't understand a word of the Russian that the lady's talking in, but she went into real detail around the Morris Dancer sampler. And you know, it just looked amazing, and it kind of really made me want to stitch it then. And then Kirsty gave me a tip that Nicola Parkman had also talked about the Morris Dancer in one of her previous Flosstubes. So I went back and looked at that, and she didn't say an awful lot about it, but she did say that GGR had said that out of all the samplers that she's charted, Morris Dancer was one of two that are her absolute favourites. So now I've started it, I don't feel quite so daunted by it. Don't get me wrong, because it is challenging, and that sun took an awful lot of counting, and I did count once, twice, and again to make sure I'd got it right. So yeah. Okay, that's all my WIPs. Look at that. We've been nearly an hour, and I've still got a haul and everything to do with you. So let's move on then. So you've seen now a couple of bits of my fabric that I've already dyed, and I have got a few more bits to show you. Oops. And it's nice to be able to first of all, I found it absolute fun to dye my own fabric. I really enjoyed it, Apart from one piece, I've dyed all of it using different RIT dyes. I've started to build a little collection of RIT dyes now. I'm not really interested in dyeing sort of the colourful stuff that you get from Chromatic Alchemy and Sparklies and people like that. I'm really interested in just neutrals, to be honest. So you know, I'd still rather get those really colourful ones from people like that, and Coffee Craft Fabrics, because hers are quite colourful as well, so I'd rather pay for those. But as far as neutrals go, I'm quite happy to muck about and have a go at dyeing my own. So I had a go at dyeing on some even weave, not quite so keen on that. So this was a 36 count even weave. I've dyed this and it's quite a pale, it's not showing up that great actually. I've dyed it as quite a really sort of pale colour, that one. This one again is a 36 count even weave, and this one is pale greys, and I put some eggplant in with this one, which came out sort of quite pinky. So that's that piece. And then these are linen. I probably won't dye an even weave again. It was only that I had a bit of spare white, and I thought, I'll give it a go. I prefer to dye linen, if I'm honest. So the even weave I find comes out quite a lot thicker for start offs. I like stitching on even weave, but I don't think I want to dye it myself. If I buy even, if I get even weave to stitch on, I'll trust the much more experienced dyers with that. So I dyed this piece, which has got some green in it as well. I thought I'd have a go at dyeing something that maybe resembled Velt a little bit by Picture This Plus. So that's why I put a bit of green in that. This one is like a pale, very pale grey, but quite modelly. So I don't quite know yet what I'm going to do with that. I really liked this one. So this one I'm losing my bags that I've got them in. This one I really liked as well. So this one I used some greys and some taupe, and I like how that one's come out. So they're all well, they originally were a 36 count Edinburgh by Zweigart, and I'm guessing they're round about a 38, because obviously dyeing shrinks them a bit. And then I did tea coffee dye one as well. This is a 32 count Belfast, and this one I tea coffee dyed, and I added a little bit of green RIT dye to it, just a tiny smidgen. And yeah, that, like I say, that's 32 count. So I might get some 40 count Newcastle next time and have a little play with that as well. So yeah, so I had a lovely dyeing session. Really enjoyed it. Didn't do it with Kaylee in the end, because the time difference just went against us really, because it was a glorious day here at the time. I did my fabric dyeing in the end in the morning when it was obviously still the middle of the night for Kaylee in Canada. And so we just, and my husband wanted us to take the dogs out in the afternoon down the beach, which we did. So I had to get mine done in the morning before Kaylee was up. So I was it was a bit of a shame really, because I really wanted to. Kaylee's a brilliant dyer. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram and just look at the fabric that she dyes. It's just, she's super talented. It's amazing. So I really would have appreciated some tips from her. Okay, moving on then. So I know we've been an hour, I know, and I'm guessing we're probably going to be another 15 minutes or so, guys. I think maybe a little longer. Maybe I should stop waffling and, you know, just show you the stuff. Okay, so I got the only fabric I bought is my fabric from Coffee Craft Fabrics, my Fabric of the Month Club. So this just arrived this morning actually, so that was well timed. So this is this month's fabric, and I love this. I really love this. Thank you so much. I know she watches my channel, and you have sent me a 35 count. So she sent me a little note saying, I think I've sent you the wrong size. But no, you haven't. It is 35 count, and I love it. And yeah, it's going to have a very nice Halloween piece on this. It reminds me a bit, actually, of Picture This Plus Haunted, and that is one of my absolute favourite fabrics. So I'm super pleased with this. Super pleased. And because of my last video, I said I was expecting my last month's fabric to be a bit springy, and it wasn't. And it really didn't matter. She sent me a piece of 40 count even weave. Now her even weave feels much nicer than mine, and I didn't know you could get even weave in a 40 count actually. And I might be tempted to try more of it, but she said here's a piece that's a bit more springy. If you like it, like, keep it. And if you don't, pass it on. But I do like it. I think it's lovely. It's really pretty. I don't know what I'll stitch on it, but I will find something at some point. So thank you. You really didn't have to do it, because I do love your fabric. So yeah, that was really kind of you, and I'm very tempted to get some more 40 count even weave from you, because it feels gorgeous, really soft and nice. Okay, so that was just the fabric that I got. Then I said to you I went to the range and I bought some frames. I bought 2 of these. I'll show you the smaller one. I bought a big one, which I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. I've got a bit of an idea, but I'm not quite sure. But I bought this frame. So I really liked it. It's got like a crackled old effect to it. And like I said, I bought the bigger version as well, and they were so reasonably priced. So, and you know, I'm okay with framing things myself. I quite enjoy doing it. I like finishing things, so I have to be in the mood to do it. But I do like doing some finishing. So I bought 2 of those, and then charts. Oh dear, Elaine, charts. Like I needed charts, didn't I? So the first one I bought was this one from the Scarlet House, and I had my eye on this now for a little while. Needfuls. Sorry if it's a bit glary. I absolutely love it. I love it. And I want to stitch some of them pink cushions like too sweet. Seriously. They're all stitching Classic Colourworks, but there is a DMC conversion as well. But that was the first one that I got, and I bought that from Peakside Needleworks. And because no chart can ever travel alone, I bought this one. I've admired for quite some time, and you know that I've done Judah Bee, which is behind me over there, but I bought Sleeping Bee by the Blue Flower. I like Quilting Bee as well, and I will get it at some point, but I bought this one. I thought this would look quite nice in a hoop finish, actually. So that's Sleeping Bee. And these charts look, you know, small, but they're not. I find that, yeah, they're not small. They're not massive, but they're not little stitches either. So I bought both of those from Peakside, and then GeoffPSmith has reopened on eBay, Trudy. So I bought 3 charts from Trudy. They're not new charts, these ones, but I really liked them. So I bought the Spring Hair by La Di Da. Really like it. Really like it. And I bought Shepherd's Pie by Plum Street Samplers. I really like that as well. And finally I bought, because I've got an obsession with sheep, which I think is Stitchy Sally's fault for sure, I bought French woolens as well, which I really like too. And I've got a bit of a thing about Plum Street in a minute, as you'll see in a moment. And then I went back on, and I got this one from, where did I get this one from? I think it was Peakside. I've been stalking this chart. So I did that one order with Peakside, and then I did another one basically, you know, just because. So I've been stalking this chart for ages, and it's been out of stock for ages, and I couldn't get it anywhere in the UK, and I couldn't get it. It wasn't 123 Stitch either. I couldn't get it from there. And unfortunately, the rest of, apart from 123 Stitch, the rest of the US shops are so expensive for their shipping charge. I just couldn't justify it. So, but it did come back in stock again. So as soon as I saw it, I bought it. So it is by Erica Michaels, and it's called Stitch All the Things. And I love it. I love the pincushion, and I love the berry. I just love everything about it, and I really want to stitch this chart now, basically. So I love the way it's finished with this tape measure around it. I love everything about it. It comes with the little buttons. But yeah, I got that from Peakside, and this was one that Erica Michaels released for Needlework Market back in March. So, but yeah, it went very hard to get hold of for a little while. I think everybody must have bought it. And obviously, you know, I couldn't just buy that, could I? I'd already done one order with Peakside, and here we go again, so to speak. So I went on a bit of a Plum Street, what's the word? I went a bit on a Plum Street spree, I suppose, because Carol, the Saltbox Stitcher, who keeps enabling me just lately, showed this chart from Plum Street Samplers, and I wanted it. So this is called Pink House Sampler, and it's this one, and it's a really big house. But this bottom border, I hope you can see that, is sheep. The border is sheep. And I had to message Stitchy Sally and say, have you seen these charts? So she went and checked it out, and she said to me, yeah, but look at the size of that house. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's a bit of a biggie. But, you know, I just loved it. And Carol showed her finish on this. Oh, it just looks awesome. So I bought that. I bought Sheep Heap because I am collecting the stacked animals ones. I've got a few of them now, and that's one I hadn't got. And I got Henpeck. Again, that was one of the Plum Streets that I hadn't got of their stacked animals. So I think you'll agree I went on a bit of a mission with job buying. Oh dear, and that wasn't the end of my haul. So I told you on my last video that I wanted to start this chart, which is Charlotte Frost 1846. I haven't started it yet because A, I wasn't well, and B, I just got hooked on getting Morris Dancers started. But I am all kitted up for this now and ready to go, because part of my haul this time were these. I have bought the MPI silks for this chart. I did splash out on these, and they're not cheap. But when I saw Carol again, the Saltbox Stitcher, she's got a lot to answer for as Carol. This house is stitched in that beautiful red, and I just thought, yeah, I'm going to get the MPIs, so I did. I figured, you know, I don't buy lots of luxury stuff, I really don't, so, and I do work hard. If I want to treat myself from time to time, I'm going to do that. So yeah, so I bought the MPIs. I got these from End Embroidery. I've got to say, what fantastic service. I ordered them one day, they arrived the very next day, so that was great. So I have those, they're all ready to go. Then I was watching Crafty Stitcher's latest video, and they enabled me. Heather on Crafty Stitchers showed these floss drops, well, not these specific ones, but she showed some floss drops, and I absolutely loved them. So I had to poodle over to Etsy and buy myself some. So these I bought these ones, which I'm putting Charlotte Frost with. I still use all my floss drops that I did from the floss drop trade as well, by the way. But I just really liked these reusable ones. So I got those ones, and I got another set as well, which are these ones. And I liked both these sets because they've got the hole obviously for your floss, but they've also got the extra little hole to put that odd bit of floss you've got as well. I've just realised I put these through the big hole, silly girl, rather than the medium hole, which is what they should be going in. Anyway, I got those from, sorry, I just need to look at what her name is, Jessgetsstitching. So she's got lots of different floss drops on there on her Etsy site, so I would definitely buy some of those from her again. They're really good. Okay, I think, oh, giveaways. So I did the random comment picker earlier for Flosstube, and I'll put the results on there. As you remember from my last video, it was my 1 year anniversary, so I did 4 giveaways. So the first one I was giving away is this project bag, which is one that I made myself, and I have got one of these which the Morris Dancer is sitting in at the minute actually. That's what it looks like on the back. It's all Simplicity Vintage Ladies. There was 41 comments. The word I asked you to use for this was sewing. There was 41 comments for that, and the winner was Gina Stitches. I'll put the picture in here. Well done, Gina, for winning one of my project bags. And like I say, my one has got Morris Dancer in it. Could be an omen there, hey? Because I know Gina's been umming and ahhing about doing the Morris Dancer. There you go. So Gina, please get in touch with me and give me your address, and I'll put this in the post to you. So well done to Gina. Gina has her own Flosstube, by the way, if you feel like checking her out. She's not long, she's done 2 Flosstube videos now, and she shows some brilliant stuff, so well worth checking out, Gina. Oh, and while I'm doing shout outs, I just wanted to mention a couple of Flosstubers that I've watched recently that are new to me. 3 of them actually. So the first one is the Violet Stitcher. She's in the UK, down in Bristol, I think, and she's got a real nice mix of projects that she's working on. So that's the Violet Stitcher. And then Kel Stitches. So Kel is in Australia, I think, and yeah, she's got some great projects as well. I might have got that wrong. Kel, I'm really sorry if I've said where you're from wrong. But anyway, she's done a few little videos now. She's just done a dyeing video, as in dyeing fabric video, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm very keen to watch that. So yeah, go check out Kel Stitches. And the other one that I watched was the Yorkshire Dolly Mixtures, which, yeah, 2 ladies, obviously based in Yorkshire, and they do a variety of projects, and they really hit off each other quite well as well. So they're both well worth watching. They're Ellie and Ali. So I've watched their first 3 videos that they've done. Like I say, good mix of projects. Ellie in particular does a lot of samplers. So anyway, they're my shout outs, because I haven't done any lately, which is very remiss of me. So yeah, so my next giveaway was for my Alice project bag, which is this one. And again, I made myself one of these as well. Mine has got my sheepy project in it at the moment that I'm doing with Ali Stitcher. And my winner of this was Mildred. Mildred, I'm not even going to attempt to butcher saying your surname. I'm pretty sure Mildred's won one of my giveaways in the past, actually. But Mildred, I haven't got your address anymore, so please get in touch with me. And let me have your address. And I will send this out to you. So congratulations for winning this, and I hope you really like it. Yeah, anybody who, by the way, has been a winner of mine in the past and have given me your address, I don't keep your address, because I think it's the HR manager in me, because of GDPR, General Data Protection regulations. I don't hold your data for any longer than I need to have it. So yeah, so if I've had your address in the past and you win again, then I do need your address again. And then I was giving away 2 pain-free craft PDFs. So for this one, I don't need your address, I just need your email, please. And if you have got a pain-free crafts account, or you can set yourself up with one, it really helps for me to send you a rack, because that's what I will do. All I need from you is for you to let me know which chart it is that you would like me to buy for you. So I had 2 winners for this, because I was giving away 2 charts. So my first winner is also somebody I think that's won from me before. So this is Debbie Sheetlin, and I'm sure I said your name wrong again, Debbie, and I know you've won, I'm pretty sure you've won something from me in the past. But Debbie, please get in touch with me and give me your email address, and let me know which chart it is that you would like. And I will get that for you. So congratulations, Debbie. And the other winner that I had, and again I'll put your name in here, with, although yours is a really easy one to say. So my winner for my last PDF chart is Karen Burton. So well done, Karen. Again, if you could pick yourself out a chart from Pain Free Crafts, email me, let me know your email, let me know which chart you want, then I will get that for you. So for the 2 ladies that won the project bags, I can't get to the post office now until next Friday. So I hope that's okay for you. But yeah, so if you could email me in the meantime, let me know your address. My email is in the show notes below. Okay, wow, 1 hour 18 minutes. Oh my word. And I haven't put all my pictures and things in yet, so I know it's going to be about an hour and a half. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll try to never make them longer than that, I promise, okay? Because that is long, but I knew it would be long because it's been 3 weeks, so, and I had lots to talk about. Okay, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, so I hope you've enjoyed watching too, because I've really enjoyed talking to you all, really. Okay, so that's all my stitching. I think that's all my haul, and I've managed to get through this without coughing. Famous last words. I've still got my books yet. Okay, so just my books that I've finished reading then. So I've just read 2 while I've over the last 3 weeks. So I read the next book in the Stephen Kavanagh series. So I spoke about him in my last Flosstube. I've just read his first book and now I've read the second one. So they're like courtroom dramas. So the one I've just read is called Devil's Advocate. And this time it's about a lawyer called Eddie Flynn, who's based in the States. And this time he has to go to Alabama to defend a young man who is accused of murder. And I don't know if they really do in real life, but in the book, Alabama still has the death penalty. So he's got to try and defend this young man from basically facing the electric chair. So really good book, really enjoyed it. Again, typical Stephen Kavanagh style, very fast paced, so easy to keep up with. Then the second one I read was completely different to that, completely different. So it was called The Story Keeper, and it's by Anna Mazzola. And I really enjoyed it. I probably would give it a 4 out of 5 for being a little bit different. So this one's set in Victorian times, and it is based, it's fiction, but it is based around true events. So it's set in the 1850s, and it's about a young lady who goes to live on the Isle of Skye, and basically she has a job collecting the local folk stories, which is really interesting. And a lot of the folk stories are based on true Gaelic folk stories from that time, but it also talks about the people of Skye and how the big landowners came and tried to clear them all out, and how they lost like their language and their pretty much their traditions and everything because of that. But it's also the story, it's a murder story too, but a little bit different. So yeah, so if you're looking for something different to read, that one doesn't grip you in the first instance like the Stephen Kavanagh one. It's much slower to read, but just as good. I really enjoyed it. And then I'm reading, just started at the minute, so I can't tell you too much about it. I'm reading a book called 6 Stories, and I'm just on chapter 1, so I don't know what it's going to be like, but it's by Matt Veselowski. So yeah, it's a murder story again. So next time I'll let you know a bit more about it. Okay, that's all I have for today. Woo! I hope you got lots of stitching done while you've been watching me. Okay, personally, I too like a long video. You know, I love it that like Brenda and Laura always do a really long one. Carol, Soulbox Stitches, she always does a super long video. Cat V Stitches, she always does a long video. It's great. I just settle down with my stitching and, you know, listen to what they're chatting about, have a look at what they're showing. I really enjoy it. So I do like short videos as well, don't get me wrong, but because I can watch more of them at the same time. So anyway, so thank you very much for watching. Oh, by the way, hello and welcome to my new subscribers. I did pick up a few since my last video. And thanks for sticking with me, all you guys that have been on my stitching journey with me so far over the last year. Right, I'm not going to go on anymore because I have blathered on for long enough. I hope you all have a great couple of stitchy weeks. Hopefully I'm over my bugs and illnesses now, and I will be back in 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks, I think. And I'll see you all again soon. So take care, guys. Have a great couple of stitchy weeks. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.